Allegedly, Nurse Hannah's been arrested. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Ryan's Rundown. Today we have a deep dive into a TikTok star who seems to always be in some sort of controversy. You might have heard of her. Her name is Nurse Hannah, and she's made a name for herself on TikTok with her blend of healthcare knowledge and, let's say, unconventional takes on parenting her young kids. Let's take a closer look at who she is and why she's become such a figure in the world of social media health advice. So, buckle up because this is going to be an interesting video. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. It really does help and I would greatly appreciate it. So, let's get into the rundown. Let's just start with the basics. Who is Nurse Hannah and how did she get so popular on TikTok? Well, Nurse Hannah, whose real name is Hannah, she is a registered nurse and she uses TikTok to share her expertise more so during the COVID-19 pandemic. I feel like Nurse Hannah really exploded. She obviously gained a massive following by posting videos that combined her professional knowledge of health with a down to earth, sometimes sarcastic style, if you will. And it's important to note that a lot of Nurse Hannah's followers initially started watching her for her medical advice. So I'm sure a lot of people assumed that's where they could get their health advice from. Now, what really sets Nurse Hannah apart from other health influencers on TikTok is her honesty because she's blunt. When Nurse Hannah tells you something, that is how it's done. This is how she's going to do it. She's just a very blunt person. And obviously some fans find this refreshing, especially right now because I feel like TikTok is such a QVC type world. Like everybody's just trying to sell me something on there. So obviously Nurse Hannah begins to blow up in 2020 for her health advice. She started to shift more from a medical advice personnel to sort of a controversial parent, if you will. Let's get into her rise and fame on TikTok. Her TikToks focus on topics like wearing masks, washing hands, social distancing, but what made her stand out was how she was telling everybody. She's not afraid to make jokes or use humor to keep things light, which honestly made the most serious topics feel kind of more approachable because she wasn't trying to be overly polished or put on a performance. She's just a nurse talking in scrubs about health related topics. As Nurse Hannah grew, so did the attention she got from the internet because everybody, like I said, loved her bold approach. And some people began to criticize her for stuff like her tone or her delivery, but more so when it comes to parenting. So, this is obviously going to be the content that everyone is talking about. This is more of a serious topic. It's not as playful and fun like we're used to on this channel. So, I just wanted to give that quick disclaimer. A lot of people agree with Nurse Hannah on her parenting advice, so it's really kind of split down the middle. For the most part, people are pretty split. Obviously, there are certain controversies that have arisen that we'll talk about, but I mean, for the most part, I think people are really divided. You either really like Nurse Hannah or you cannot stand her. People say that she lacks empathy, especially for kids who are dealing with emotional challenges or an illness. They think Nurse Hannah's approaches are a little bit bold. And they feel that the kids just need more than just rules. They need understanding and compassion. And now this is where the controversy with this topic really starts to build. I'm sure you can relate to a lot of different situations where you didn't like somebody's parenting style. Her parenting styles have sparked backlash. There is a video where it looks like Hannah is handing her child an item, but the kid flinches. Body language experts are saying that that's a sign of past trauma, blocking your face when something's in front of it, especially as a child. So let's take a look at that. And I'm going to play it twice because it kind of rolls pretty quick. You can see when Nurse Hannah's husband is handing the kid the box, he flinches, and he flinched twice. And then the second part of the video is Yadira. Yadira showed what happened when she did this, basically the same thing to her child. Her child doesn't flinch. See what I mean? People are saying that's an automatic trauma response. That's one of the controversies people are really talking about right now. Nurse Hannah has also been known to not give her children food at certain times. So it looks like they took a trip to Vegas, and it's seemingly noticeable that the child isn't eating anything while Hannah and her husband are kind of eating everything. So I'm gonna roll that clip of that as well.
Lobster roll sounds pretty good to me. We are in Vegas for the week and we were trying all kinds of good foods and restaurants here. And our very first stop were $9 lobster rolls. Technically, we got a lobster roll, a fried shrimp roll, and a fried scallop roll, and fries, and a drink, all for $30. Literally, it was only $30, which honestly sounds like kind of a lot to be back home spending money on. Out here in Vegas, honestly, spending that kind of money on any sort of seafood, like that's pretty good. Honestly, my husband and I are pretty cheap when it comes to like eating out and groceries and stuff at home. We're on vacation, and especially in Vegas, like we don't go crazy, but we're not super cheap either. If you're from Vegas or if you go to Vegas a lot, drop me your favorite restaurants you want me to try. Preferably under like $50 for the three of us. These lobster rolls were so freaking yummy. I had a hot honey shrimp one that I think was my favorite. I tell you, this place was packed. It was a pretty small little restaurant. It was super quick and fast. Literally had a drive-through. And it was one of those restaurants where you literally had to eye all around the restaurant to like wait until someone was like ready to leave the table so you can like jump in there. People were literally fighting over tables. I definitely told James that they were chicken nuggets. Honestly, I'd give this restaurant a solid 7 out of 10. Bonus points for how cheap it was.
Honestly, that's just weird because in the beginning, when I first saw that video, I was like, oh, well, he's eating a fry, but it's not just that. You can see her physically restraining him so he can't go and get the food, and then to put the food in his face and seemingly tease him like that. I honestly just thought that was kind of weird. I obviously wasn't the only one who thought that was weird because the comments on this video are crazy because we have Mamalicious saying, as a mom of 5, yes, my household consists of 7 people, but going out anywhere is expensive, but everyone gets to order. Where is his cup of mac and cheese with a side of fries and a juice to drink? Honestly, that sounds kind of bomb right now. Kai said, the pain in his eyes. I hope he gets out of the situation and goes with someone who will show him the love and care he deserves. Yeah, I didn't even touch on that face. That's honestly just so sad. And Positive Black Girl Vibe says, this is literally making me cry. So Hannah just seemingly stays in the controversy from really sad things she does with her children. So I've been following the situation for a while, and obviously everyone has been seemingly not joking, but in the comment section playing into Hannah and her weird tendencies with the kids. And I know a lot of people did say that they wanted to call, CPS on the kids. I didn't think anyone was actually going to do it, but to be honest, I really hope if it's true and all the things that she's actually doing with these kids is not us or just reading into it too much, that she gets help and the suffering with the poor kids stop, because it really just is really nasty and disgusting. And we haven't even touched on her weird nursing practices, so let's get into that. People on Reddit were really criticizing Nurse Hannah because she didn't really go to a doctor, like an OBGYN, until she was 30 weeks pregnant. Just from what I've researched online, it seems like most women who are pregnant go to the doctor, regularly go once you're pregnant for checkups on the child. But Nurse Hannah said that she was going to love the child no matter what. So let's take a look at that video that she posted.
I'm 31 weeks pregnant. I just finished up at my very first OB appointment, so let's talk about it. To all of you out there that have given your very strong opinion about me being so far pregnant and not going to the doctor, my one thing to you is that my doctor and my midwife today did not care. They literally did not care. I was a little worried I was going to get some judgment, basically. So I chose a midwife. I had a midwife last time. I don't really have a preference, midwife or OB. I just went with midwife this time. So I'm 31 weeks technically, but in their system, we're going back to 30 weeks and 5 days. Something about my last period and their computer system or something like that. But baby is still measuring like 31 weeks on point and all that kind of stuff. We did a lot of blood work. 9 tubes of blood work. Leave some blood for me. I still need some to function. We did a scan. We didn't do the anatomy scan. I have to go to radiology for that. And I was hoping to do that like tomorrow or the next day, like just get it over with. But they said I have to schedule it out for like 3 more weeks is like the soonest they can get me in. And at that point, I'm like, what's the point?
Everybody thinks that it's rage bait. How would we know? You would have to know her to really know, because everyone's saying she needs her medical license revoked on her platform. She is vile in so many ways. How can you be a practicing nurse that cares for people and you can't even care for yourself / unborn child? Llama drama. I feel like she has to be rage baiting, and I think she loves it. Any attention, even negative attention, is good to her. She's a disgrace to health workers, and as one, I'm absolutely horrified. And everyone's calling her a liar because in the beginning, she said that she hadn't been to an OB because it was her personal decision and not original reason of not having the money to go see the OB. So she just needs to pick one lie and seemingly stick to it. People went as far as trying to quiz her about her medical knowledge. Here's a clip of her basically answering medical questions to everybody to prove that she knows what she's talking about. And honestly, the whole situation is just so messy. And good luck going into the comments because you can't even get into the comments because all the comments on every single video are turned off.
A lot of people have been commenting saying, oh, you're an LPN or you're not a real nurse, and it's really starting to show lately. So I thought it'd be fun to take a nursing exam, like a NCLEX practice exam together and see how I do. And let's just see if I'm a real nurse or not. A 4-year-old child was brought by her grandmother in the emergency room due to fever, chills, and difficulty walking. The nurse tries to remove the excessive clothing of the child, but is reluctant. After a thorough assessment, the nurse also noted bruises around the genital area. Which of the following intervention should the nurse do first? Collect the clothing and underwear of the child. B, provide privacy and describe the behavior of the child. C, inform the law enforcement where possible. Or D, record all findings. The following intervention should the nurse do first? So I'm going to say, normally it would be like either the law enforcement and then record all findings. So I'm going to go with C because informing the law enforcement is probably what you should do first.
We could go through her entire TikTok from back in 2020 until now, and I could show you all the weird content that she's been posting related to health reasons. But honestly, you should just go on there for yourself and take a look. It's messy. A lot of people are saying to stay away from Hannah's page for that reason. 2 months ago, Nurse Hannah had a drama where basically she was filming a video and you could physically see dirty diapers in the video. It's been deleted. This is what was said on Reddit. Now, Excellent Cabinet 83 says, I've gotten into it with a couple creators related to Nurse Hannah's diaper video. She walked around her house and collected 17 dirty diapers, and the video is going viral. Now, I'm not saying she shouldn't be struggling postpartum with a toddler as well, but what my issue is, she literally received no prenatal care, trash talks nursing and her patients. She doesn't have time to pick up dirty diapers, but is constantly on TikTok. It's just weird. She whines about how she's broke, but yet her husband bought $1,500 in hunting equipment. She whines about being solo parenting while her husband is on a hunting trip that I'm sure could have been rescheduled. Do I have sympathy for moms really going through tough times after having a baby? Absolutely. But do I have sympathy for her? No, I don't. These creators will do anything to latch onto a video going viral. It's pathetic. Obviously, I'm not even a woman, so I'm not even going to speak on that. But what I will say is, obviously, we don't want to make fun of anybody going through postpartum. What goes on behind closed doors at somebody's house is their business, but there is some truth to that. How are you filming so much on TikTok, but now you're going to go pick up 17 dirty diapers off the floor? She did seemingly leave the diapers there, knowing it would cause another controversy. She's rage baiting everybody, and it's kind of annoying because it's like, what do you do? All the comments are turned off. Everyone is already saying that they wanted to report her for the whole flinching incident with her kids and not feeding her children. And those aren't the only videos on that either. Like I said, if you guys go through her page, you will see constant examples of weird either medical practices or things that she does with her children that you're going to think, wait, this isn't normal. Allegedly, Nurse Hannah's been arrested. That's the information I've seen floating around on TikTok. So I'm going to run that clip as well so you guys can take a look.
Breaking news. Nurse Hannah has reportedly been arrested. Yesterday, TikToker Anthony Blackwell claimed he had located Nurse Hannah's home address and reported her to CPS for her treatment of her children. CPS is now investigating the case. How did Anthony Blackwell manage to find Hannah's home address so precisely? After closely reviewing Hannah's online content, he became concerned by the children's reaction. In the pursuit of justice, Anthony used her husband Braxton's name, conducting an online search. He eventually found a LinkedIn profile for a Braxton Hyatt in Utah. Anthony noted that Braxton had expressed interest in real estate after completing his studies, so he decided to look for real estate listings connected to his name. Anthony found a listing under Hyatt Realty and recognized Hannah as the office manager. Upon further investigation, they compared the features in the listing photo, like cabinets, granite countertops, and chandeliers, to details visible in Hannah's videos. Anthony stressed that they had blocked out sensitive information to avoid doxing. In addition to the CPS investigation, Hannah has also been reported to the state nursing board for alleged violations of ethical policies.
Whoa. With the allegations of her arrest, honestly could be true because her last video was over 24 hours ago. Obviously, Hannah is still going to get massive criticism for her tough love approach to those poor kids. There are people who 1000% stand by Hannah, which is kind of crazy. And obviously, Hannah's supporters argue that the backlash is a symptom of a wire problem in society, which is a trend of soft parenting. And it's like, be for real. No, 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 no. When there's dirty diapers all over and there's signs of child trauma and children aren't being fed, it's a lot more serious than talking about soft parenting. I'm not even a parent. And even I know what she's doing is completely wrong. It's really kind of like, where does she go from here? If not jail, right? I mean, you guys saw the video. It's alleging that she's arrested. If she is really arrested, that's actually super unfortunate, and I do feel bad for her, but I mean, at some point, you have to look at what you're doing and ask yourself, is this okay? Because that's considered child neglect, not feeding your child, not properly taking care of your child, signs of trauma with your child. These are all things that your kids can be taken away for. Now, where's her husband in all of this? We didn't really touch too much on her husband. Let me know down below if you guys want a deep dive into the beginning of Nurse Hannah and her marriage to her husband and all of that. Let me know down below. And of course, whether or not you agree with Nurse Hannah's parenting, there's no denying that she made her impact on people and she's really grown a large following. So if it is not true and she was not arrested, I really hope she finally realizes that her parenting skills are a bit too extreme and it's almost borderline Ruby Frankie. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Definitely sound off down below. Do you guys even know who Nurse Hannah is? Have you watched her content before? I want to know. Thank you so much, guys, and have a nice day. Bye.